Hey everybody, it's Adam Brush with the Institute of Human Performance. We've been gone for a few weeks from the JC Unplugged, but we're back. JC's been gone for a little bit, but he's got a lot of good things going on. But we're just going to get right into it. This is episode 4 of our JC Unplugged. All right, JC, here's the first question. What modalities, if any, do you believe are rightfully used in physical therapy for rehab purposes, but once that person's cleared for rehab, those rehab modalities don't really need to be used in strength and conditioning?
Right off the bat, 2 that come to mind. Number 1, balance. Number 2, static stretching. Okay, balance is, like I say, balance is a way to test the lines of communication. So if you're on the side of the phone and I'm on the side of the phone, I pick up the phone, I go, Adam, check, 1, 2, 3, can you hear me? Can you hear me? If I speak loud, does it crack, or can you hear me now? Did I give you meaningful information? No, I'm just testing the line of communication. Balance can do that. Balance fires, but it doesn't fire meaningful stuff until you do the meaningful stuff. So that's one of them, okay? And the other one is, which by the way, it's proprioception. What's feeding back is proprioceptive feedback. So that people say, oh, it's proprioception, it's all good. No, proprioception is specific. The proprioception I need for this or for this is not the proprioception I need for that, okay? So totally, line of communication establishment, good. Meaningful communication sucks, balance. Static stretching. If you can't get to a range of motion by your own volition, static stretching is a great way to start getting it. So there's 3 ways to break a spasm. One way is to statically stretch. The other way is to massage. And the other way is to do a contraction, eccentric, concentric. If you can't do the contraction, static stretching is a way to get there. So right off the bat, there's other things, but right off the bat, those are the 2 most popular modalities that are great for physical therapy. Once you come into the gym, not so much.
Okay. Number 2, how many sets should it take during the build-up to get to the desired workload? Like if you're going to deadlift, if your goal for deadlift is 300 pounds,
right?
You're going to do the build-up as part of your warm-up. How many sets of that build-up do you think you need to get to that starting point?
Depending on your experience and depending on the load. If I'm doing a deadlift with 180 pounds, it can take me 2 sets if I'm experienced, okay? If I'm doing a deadlift with 700 pounds, just to give you a magnifying glass, that's going to take me quite a bit of sets. So in standard fitness, for fitness applications, 2 to 3 light sets can get you to the weight. Everybody does a build up to warm up anyways. So if you're going to do a 225 bench and you do the bar for 3 or 4, and then you put 45s for 3 or 4, and then you put 25s on top for 3 or 4, and then you put your 225, you've done a build up, all right? Our part of the hybrid and 3-tier integration system is, why don't you take that build up and instead of just sitting there with a bar and doing the same thing, why don't you do increasing intensities of functional training exercise so you get a little bit more transfer. So that's the sexy part of that build up using the hybrid method, okay, and the functional training to lead up to that. I would say 2 to 3. Okay. If you're going 700 pounds, you just can't go 100, 400, 700. You'll blow your back. These guys have to work up to that. So that's what it is.
Okay, here we go. 3. Do vertical and horizontal plyometric training programs lead to different results?
Vertical and horizontal
Plyometric training programs.
I'm not sure I understand. So vertical meaning vertical jumps and horizontal meaning lateral jumps or rotation?
Linear. Whose question was that?
That
was Jerry.
So having broad jumps, right? Explosive jumps out for distance, or vertical jumps, obviously for plyo box jumps.
And which ones are?
So I'll read the question again. Knowing that, do vertical and horizontal plyometric, maybe not training programs, but exercises, do vertical and horizontal plyometric exercises lead to different results?
I would say, based on specificity, the answer would have to be yes, but now think about this. If you're doing a long jump, right? You may load it up here, you know? You may load it up there, but at the time of force generation, you're falling forward. By the time that you are really going to launch it, you're going to be here. And your arms are going to be coming through in that way. So when you do launch it, it's going to be here. When you launch a vertical, it's there anyways. So outside of some stuff here at the ankle and lean, and the timing that you have, because you got to hit it at the right timing. If not, you fall forward, you don't jump far enough. Your trajectory is still going to be pretty much along the line of the bottom. So what do you want it for? If it's just power at the hips, forward acceleration, technically, this one, I would choose this one. You know, but remember, when you're accelerating at the end of the day, it's not a two-legged. It's a one-legged push, because you're here when you're running. So when you do take off, that's your takeoff leg, it's not two. So at the end of the day, I would say vertical is easier to manage. Why? Easier to do, easier to teach, and if you're doing box jumps, you don't have the landing for the big guys. So that's why I got away from hurdle jumps, because you gotta land everything. So for guys who are 200, 230, that's a lot of wear and tear. That's why I love the box jumps. By the way, box jumps are not plyometric. Long jumps, they're not plyometric. Because you don't have the stretch reflex that is fast enough to elicit the myotatic reflex. So this is a great example of power training that is not plyometric.
So what about like bounding? Single?
Bounding, different. Multiple jumps, different. And it's not multiple jumps like this. That multiple jump is not plyometric.
No,
This,
cycling. Yeah.
that is plyometric. So I think plyometrics are overrated, especially the heavy. Depth jumps and bounding, super overrated. I think the best plyometrics are the simple things. Angling, skipping rope, skipping, bounding. Most people would tear up their legs in 3 sessions if you bound them correctly. Too much. So stick to the simple power training, it does wonders.
I think it comes down to like, what's your performance? What are you doing? Because this has been, just from a baseball perspective, it's been recorded that vertical jumping has nothing to do with velocity of a throw pitcher.
Baseball is all rotation. Throwing, running, batting, all rotation.
Okay. What are some things to consider when implementing high neural exercises? Maybe like deadlifts, sprinting, things to consider.
Things to consider when you're doing high intensity. And if you're doing high intensity, of course, it's neural. It's frequency, intensity, and duration. You're back to simplicity. Okay, manipulating the training variables. The higher load you go, the more intense training, all right? You gotta cut the volume down, and you gotta give them rest in between. Rest in between sets, and rest in between sessions. And that is why when we go from hypertrophy, or conditioning, to strength, we cut the volume almost in half. We go from 12 to 20 sets, to 8 to 12 sets. We go from 8 to 15 reps to 4 and 6. And in power, we stay at the same volume, more or less, as we do when we're in strength. Same volume. We go 4 to 6 on strength, 5 plus 5 on power. So those are the 3 things. What people want to do is they want to do high volume because they're falling in love with the high volume stuff, and it just kills you when you're doing strength and power. Less is better.
We got 2 more questions here. This is with regards to change of direction, agility. When training athletes, what are your 2 favorite exercises for change of direction?
Lateral reaching lunges and skaters. Done. Easy. How easy is that? All right? And if you want to do strength, hard lateral reaching lunges. Okay? If you want to do power, hard lateral reaching lunges, straight to skaters. You don't have a slide, you don't have the slide. You don't have the slide to do the skating action, then do the hoops. Okay, so my 2 favorite exercises really are lateral reaching lunges and skating. Or skaters. Skaters are jumps, skating is on the slide. Those 2 are awesome. And if you look at running, that's this. Okay, running looks more like skating at the acceleration phase than it looks like what we think running is. We train running like we cycle. We don't run like that. If you said, what's closer to running, cycling or skating? Hands down, acceleration phase, hands down, it's not even close. It's all skating. So why not use skating type of exercises to improve that huge acceleration? And that's 90% of the sports speed that we develop.
so even after 10 years, right?
And of course, the single leg stuff is a hands down. Anterior reach is a single leg squats.
Okay, last question. What is the difference between stiff-legged deadlift and RDLs, and how do you differ in performance?
I think it's a matter of semantics. Some people call them different things. Stiff-legged deadlifts, in my opinion, is, let me see, it's right, where are you? It's right over there, okay? Yeah, you have some in the middle, and look at the good morning over there on the second one. It's old-fashioned bodybuilding. They were done like this. Yeah, stiff-legged, boom. They used to stand on benches with 325, and the 325 would go almost to the floor. Okay? That's old school, straight, stiff-legged deadlift. The RDL, okay, was born in Olympic weightlifting. Okay? And the RDL is to have the knees slightly bent, okay, so you can practice the transfer of weight from the below the knee to above the knee in the power zone. So it's here. Boom, 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 boom. Bent knee, RDL, more for Olympic weightlifting, but it's great for anything. Stiff-legged, old school, that's where stiff-legged came from. You'll have people call stiff-legged the RDL and vice versa. Yes?
When would you want to do the stiff-legged?
Excuse me?
When would you want to do the stiff?
Personally, I have no need. No need for the stiff-legged. It's just not functional. You shouldn't be lifting anything with a stiff-legged. I don't care what you're doing. There's ways to concentrate on hamstring, glute, and paraspinals without doing the stiff-legged.
All right, that's it.
Cool.
Episode 4 is in the books. We're back on track, so we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks for episode 5.
All right.